up. We recognize your hand, sir. Sir or madam, I stand to be guided. Okay, maybe it's what do they call the old hands? They're not fancy names to old hands. They call them what? Legacy hands. So in terms of the day, this is. So why it hasn't stopped sharing the other one? Should I first stop?
Don't share the first one. Share the
I stopped sharing and I'm resharing, but I can still see my whole slide.
exit.
Maybe close this one first. Okay. So in terms of the order of our day, the way it is structured, following just the brief introduction around the purpose of today's engagement, I'm going to call upon Professor Awofolu to give an introduction to the Division of Research and Postgraduate Development and to speak a bit about the mandate of this particular division and its key services in terms of service offerings to our masters and doctoral students within the university. Thereafter, Prof will, unfortunately for him, will not have a break. He's going to proceed to also speak and give an overview of academic expectations for new masters and PhD students. At times you go into a system and you don't even know when the first proposal is due, who do we take it to, where does it go? He is going to unravel and demystify that space so that as we walk out, we are quite clear in terms of the expectations also for our students, but also obligations that come with you taking on postgraduate studies now. This will then lead us to our tea break, which will try and reduce time. We're supposed to initially go at 10:30. We'll try and catch up. I will challenge Prof to reduce his two presentations. Afterwards, we'll have a conversation with Dr. Tetu Shiweda from the library. She is the head of research support section in the library. And then thereafter, I will come back. That will be probably the few times you will see another slide from me, which will speak to information around opportunities for funding, proficiency development services in a bit more detail, mobility opportunities, mentorship, etc., which is also an expansion of what Prof would have introduced in his earlier presentation. Then before we wrap up, we'll have a conversation with Ms. Lizelle Miller, social worker, student services here within the university. She will speak about maintaining student life balance. And thereafter, we'll have our interactive session leading to the vote of thanks. One of the students, we don't know who, but we are hoping one of the students can actually give a vote of thanks. And I'll ask I always call them one of the, within a university, there are always people you look up to. So I look up to Dr. Tina Moyo to have a conversation around our closing remarks. I've just thrown in the deep end. It was initially Professor Awofolu, but I just want to acknowledge the other officials that are in the room for them to speak. But with that, our program would have ended. So this is the quick rundown of our program. You will expect even in the future, we will not be printing programs because we are really trying to go green. For those that are coming from the environmental side, they would appreciate why that is important for us. With that, I invite Professor Awofolu to come forward and give us the two presentations, one giving an overview of the division, and thereafter you'll speak to academic expectations for new masters and PhD students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Program Director. Ms. Reni Muyai. Thank you so much for the precision of the objectives of the session. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much. And we'll try as much as possible to cover, should I say, for the time that while we're trying to set up this the presentation, just to put it on the slideshow mode. Okay. All right. Colleagues, that those of us that are joining us online, can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see the slide, but we can also see the next slide.
Okay. How does that happen? Okay, I think it's fine. At least the next slide probably just indicates what's next to be presented. Thank you so much, everyone, once again. Good morning for joining us. As mentioned by the program director, this is just basically to present to us, an overview of the division, the Research and Postgraduate Development Office under DRIP, Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnership, just for us to have a feel of the functionalities of that particular division within DRIP, so that we get to know the services that are available to us. One thing that I actually need to mention at this point in time, the name of that particular division says Research and Postgraduate Development Office. It's not just the postgrad students that the office provides services to. Of course, we love our postgraduates so much that obviously, we pay special attention to ensure that we serve you dearly. But we also provide services to, should I say, our colleagues at NOS as well. Because we have colleagues that are also students, that are also doing research, that are also upgrading their, should I say, qualification as well. So we do that as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's look briefly in terms of what we'll look at. We look at the functionalities. We'll look at the functionalities of the division, the research services unit that we provide. And under that, we have the capacity enhancement services. Capacity enhancement services, because it's important as a postgraduate office to ensure that we capacitate our postgraduate students. Just like our program director mentioned, we are here to actually walk, the journey with you. And in that process, it is the function of the department or the division to provide capacity, to provide, enhancement, your competency that will enable or enhance your ability and your effectiveness to be able to carry out the research, that you will be embarking upon. And apart from that, the division also is tasked to actually, provide an oversight in terms of the progress of your studies. Have you completed your research proposal? Do you have any challenges with the proposal? Have you started your, should I say, data collection? Are there, challenges? What are the milestones with that? All those activities, all the journeys that you actually, you are undertaking with respect to your research, we will be, working with you in terms of the progress. We will be monitoring how you are doing, how you are faring. At the end of the day, we also want to be with you when we wear the gown and you, of course, put on the cap. Then we'll shake hands and say, well, it's been a fruitful journey at the end of the day. And of course, the second leg of the services that the office provided is the development services. There are quite a number of development services that we can, of course, initiate together for the benefit of our students. In terms of the structure, as we see, we have our deputy vice chancellor there at the top. Of course, we have of course, the school secretary of the vice chancellor. Now here, the executive director of the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnership, Dr. Anna Matos Goresis. Unfortunately, she could not be here with us due to another engagement she has. So that's why she asked me to welcome you on her behalf, which I did much earlier. This is where I think the person that is standing before you, I'm here. And of course, we have our program director as well, and of course, we have our colleagues in terms of our coordinators. I mean, Ms. Ronel, also one part of, the structure here. So this is basically who we are in terms of the structure, in terms of postgraduate office. Now, in terms of research service unit, what are the things that we do? What are the services that are available? The first thing is basically the skill capacity development initiatives. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, we need to empower, we need to capacitate our postgraduate students through development of skills that will enable them to walk the journey properly. And this involves research proposal development. The first thing that we do, of course, after registration and of course starting the journey, is to develop a proposal. The proposal, of course, that will speak to what you intend to do from A to Z. And of course, introduction, literature review, methodology, well-defined research questions and research objectives. These are components or composition of the proposal that require skills, that require competency to be able to actually, put them together to form a quality proposal. The introduction of your proposal, it requires some skill. To actually develop literature review, remember, chronologically, to develop, should I say, the historical perspective, what has been done in your research area, what is being done, and basically the value that you are going to add to the discourse, what is going to make the difference. So there are techniques that are involved in writing a literature review, and I'm sure some of our SGS-based students that are currently with the journey will know what I'm talking about, in the sense that you can even turn your literature review into what? Into a publication. It's a review where you systematically and chronologically present, should I say, information about that particular discourse, what had been done, the dynamics in terms of what was done, what is currently being done, and why you want to bring a new dimension into what is currently being done, which translates into you now adding to the body of knowledge. You create it to the body of knowledge. And that's why, should I say, we are humans. We have that intellect to be able to add value to any discourse that we have. And that's why we move. That's why we progress in life. We see things differently, and we bring the different perspectives into it to become, should I say, a valuable contribution into our discussion. Statistical data analysis. These are another valuable skills that are very important in terms of, should I say, interpretation of your data that you would collect in the course of your research. We provide, this particular proficiency workshop. I think we had one, I think was it yesterday or day before yesterday, that was presented by Dr. Gemeshu. Very brilliant, capacity enhancement, statistical data analysis. We will be having writing for publication. This is what they call BABA. This is a very big one. Because at the end of the day, the skill to be able to put together, should I say, what you have written, the skill to be able to disseminate the information you've collected, your thesis. Remember, one of the requirements is for you to be able to actually disseminate the outcome of your research, the outcome of your endeavor to the community, scientific community. Of course, I think scientific community is used generically in the plural form. For those of us that are in the commerce, in the art, and other fields as well, ability to be able to put together coherently the outcome of your research, and you now disseminate to the wider world. And that's basically the writing for publication. It's also a skill that needs to be mastered. And of course, it doesn't matter, even if you are not in the academic, if you are in an organization, pro-organization, you will need to write reports. You will need to write, should I say, submissions and briefs, either to the managing director, to the CEO. These are techniques to be able to put them together in a very coherent and scientific way. So these are some of the capacity or proficiency workshop that we will be rolling out. I mean, like I said, we started already. The training is not stopping. We are moving, actually. So we will be sending out the information so that you'll be aware. And of course, you have the research ethics as well. Continuing with the research services, short courses is one of those things that we will be having intermittently on a regular basis. Short courses are basically to sharpen our knowledge on specific area of knowledge in area of realization. For example, artificial intelligence application, uses and challenges. AI has come to stay. In fact, we're now in the era of even trying to curb or limit some of the uses of AI, because we know this is a situation whereby there might be those that might want to actually misuse that particular concept. Artificial intelligence it's applicable to all endeavor in terms of how can we enhance a particular, should I say, field, a particular discipline AI application. We will be having short courses on that. We will be having seminars as well. This is something that is very important and, of course, very dear to the institution, the management of NOST in terms of entrepreneurial, strategic, should I say, initiatives. As we all know, we cannot all be, should I say, applicants or employees. I mean, it's good for some of us to also be employers. And thinking out of the box, or how did you put it, it's something that will enable us to be able to get to that point. If you are able to, develop, should I say, an entity that you end up employing 2, 3, 4, 5 people, apart from the intrinsic satisfaction that you have as the fact that you've accomplished yourself, you have now empowered, other people with respect to, should I say, their livelihood. And that is basically one of the very key issues that the university is very passionate about, which we also, in the office of the postgraduate, we want to actually, engage with our postgraduate students to widen, should I say, horizon on the issue of entrepreneurial, should I say, skill development. And you never know, you might probably just sit in the corner of your room there thinking of, one just a small thought that you have with respect to entrepreneurial initiative can blossom into something that, you yourself, you will now even be, you'll be surprised that, I mean, this small idea that, I shared with my colleagues now has become something that has turned into, a big initiative that's ending up being, people that are employed. You look at that small, that picture there, that's just to show the short courses. If this is the short, you are the one right in the middle here, you can see the different appendages, whereby, at the end of the day, you hold those appendages in the palm of your hand, whether it is in artificial intelligence, whether it is in cybersecurity, whether it is in econometrics, whether it is in the thermometrics. You have empowered yourself with the knowledge in this particular area. And you remember what they always say, knowledge. Once you acquire it, it's yours for life. Nobody can, I mean, it's not something that they will put the ring into your body or your, as socket or no. It's here for life. And of course, we'll be expected to pass the knowledge on as well. There are other auxiliary services or information that The division also will be providing student academic counseling and support. We know that some of our postgraduate students at the point in time might want to have, someone to engage with respect to their studies. Maybe they're having some challenges with any aspect of their study, or I'm finding it difficult to find information, in particular area. I'm, finding it difficult to navigate with respect to my sampling or sampling method, or I'm finding it difficult to, this program that I'm registered, I need some advice with respect to opportunities, some things that you might just want to engage, with us with respect to your career, with respect to your research. So these are some of the things that we want to provide and assist our postgraduate students, collectively. Remember, it's a journey, and when we work it together, we will assist each other to navigate that path and get to the end of the shore. Information on scholarship opportunities as well are some of the things that we've been doing this, obviously, through the office of the Directorate of Research and Innovation and Partnership. This has been communicated, but we want to consolidate, should I say, information on scholarships. Yes, there are some of our PG students that are self-funding. They are paying this, funding themselves. And if there are opportunities whereby they can be relieved of part of the funding, for example, payment of tuition, through scholarships, organizations that, provide scholarship for tuition and stuff like that, that will go a long way, in relieving the financial, should I say, commitment. So these are some of the things that we will, of course, be sharing the information, with you. Of course, there are some organizations that actually provide sponsorship in certain fields or in certain areas. So these are, just for us to be mindful that, of course, we will not be able to put, or should I say, be able to share, scholarship information on all the areas. People that are sponsored or provide scholarships usually, specify certain particular areas, but we will be sharing the information as we receive them. North Library and PG Research, I will not dwell much on this because one of our colleagues will still be coming to actually, provide information on the, should I say, library services. We all know, I mean, the repository of information, that is contained in the library. And in fact, I understood there is a dedicated, should I say, section for postgraduate students in our library, where you can, of course, go and do your literature search and some of the information that you need. We will also be actually providing information with respect to the research facilities and equipment at NUST. For some of us that are in the sciences, whether in the health sciences or in engineering, there are quite a number of, should I say, world-class, equipment that NUST, like I told you, you are in the right place. If you're doing sciences as well, you're in the right place. The top class, NUST is investing, should I use mercilessly, something that is more than seriously, on equipment, because we believe that we need to put our money where our mouth is, as we always say. As University of Science and Technology, that we pride ourselves in applied research, then we should have the instrumentations that will get us to the shore, where, of course, to actually conduct such applied research activities. So we have massive top class, equipment, both in the health sciences, there is even in the basement there, which they refer to as the postgraduate research, section. The top research equipment that you will find. You compete even with those in the big, should I say, Western universities. So I'm saying this because I'm very proud of it, and it's something that the university management is very, very proud of as well, and they're very keen to develop that aspect so that we don't actually leave our postgrads without a tool. Remember how they always say, you ask someone to go to the field to plow the soil, preparation for planting. and you did not provide that person with the required tool, the hoe, or, or the rake, then what is the essence of preparing the soil for planting? So that's basically what we're doing, providing the requisite equipment and infrastructure that you need to be able to carry out your research. Lastly, postgraduate student study hub. This is a space that we believe that there are times when you need that quiet and tranquility, that peace of mind when you want to do your research or you want to do your study in a very quiet and, of course, an environment that is very conducive. So we have the study hub. It's one thing I need to actually assure you, postgrad students, the HTTPS facility is basically your facility. Let me put that way. It's your facility. The spaces are there. I mean, during, should I say, team break, I'll just, and one of my colleagues will just show you. You can actually book, certain period, that you want a space with access to computer, that you can use that facility quietly to write your proposal, to write your literature review, to do your statistical analysis, to do your presentation. So you need to create time to come to this space because we create that space specifically for you, and we don't want that space to be underutilized. So we will be sharing, should I say, how to access that, because what we do basically is there is a help desk that you need to actually, register that I want to use the space for 3 hours, 4 hours. So that in that way, it will be reserved for you so that you can actually, avail yourself of that opportunity. So that help desk will be circulated, in due course. Very soon we'll do that. In terms of research development, the section of research development unit is the one-stop section, information for postgraduate student development. Here, we will be engaging in promotion of MIT research, multi-inter transdisciplinary research, and innovative engagements. We will be fostering research development discussion through postgraduate student hub or CAFE. Another initiative that, should I say, the directorate is trying to put together. You remember the saying, they say all work and no play, but is someone going to finish or complete that statement for me? All work and no play. The director, I'm throwing it to the audience. It is the PG students that I'm throwing at. Any volunteer? Anyone from the online colleagues? All work and no play. Hear me. Hello, are we still together?
Makes Jack a foolish boy.
Yes, we're together. Bro.
Yes, Prof.
That's it. I believe there's another version, but I think it's
Leave us alone.
Go ahead.
We are here. We are here. We have presentation for your presentation for a knowledge about the interrelationship for the students and how is this that they can provide for before we are finished our research, how is this important to development things, not the academic, but for another settlement. I don't know, it's correct.
Do we? Yeah. I'm sorry. Perhaps we could take the question after the presentation because I didn't hear that question there. This is the last slide. After this, then we'll probably take some questions. Thank you. So the last part of that tech unit is to organize informative and beneficial socioeconomic and entrepreneurial seminar and lectures. So we will be putting this together in terms of, should I say, lectures, seminars that will be entrepreneurial in terms of its expectation. And definitely we hope these services, you will take advantage of these services that we will be providing. don't feel free to engage with us. Feel free to actually, send email, and we are here to serve you. I thank you. Questions? Any question? Yes, ma'am. You can now ask the question. Let's. We have some time for some questions. For those of us that are online, I think we'll give you the opportunity first. Can you see the hands up?
I get that.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Prof. Good morning, everyone. I just want to say thank you for the presentation. I kind of joined a bit late as I was occupied the early hours of the morning. However, having listened to the little that I managed to get is that the impression is that there are so many opportunities of support for the postgrad students. I am actually in my third year as a PhD student. No scholarship, no bursary. I'm paying for myself. And I remember in one of the meetings last year, I also raised a question to ask, because I remember during our orientation at some point, it was mentioned that there are some funds that are kind of put aside for PhD students, or especially for those maybe that are doing lab experiments for their studies. And then I raised a question that for us who are not doing lab experiments, how can we be supported, especially if that money is already budgeted for, depending on the number of students that you have. Some of us really need support, especially when it comes to article processing charges, because if I remember correctly, we are required to at least publish something before the end of the study. And the article processing charges are quite expensive. They are quite high. So my question is, how will some of us who are not doing lab studies be supported by the department? Apologies if you have clarified that already, as I mentioned that I joined the meeting a bit late. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. It's a very, very relevant question, and of course it's applicable to all the PhD students, whether masters and PhD. Thank you for raising that question. If I put it this way, yes, it's not, the faculties do receive what is referred to as research funding from the institution. However, the decision in terms of how the research fund will be utilized rests, on the faculty management that is headed by the executive dean. So each faculty do have, should I say, the fund, the utilization, strategy for that research fund that is received from the institution. Like you rightly said, for those that are in the lab-based programs, yes, there are consumables that needs to be used for the research. There are some other, materials that the student may require. For example, if the student needs to go out for sample collection and stuff like that. And I believe there are activities that, those that are not in the sciences also engage in, for example, in terms of data collection, which might require resources. And importantly, you mentioned the issue of article processing fee or article processing charges, as far as they've been referred to sometimes. Now, in terms of, I'll take the second one first, in terms of the article processing fee, when you write a manuscript for publication, which I believe the manuscript is based on your research study, your PhD study or master study, obviously, your supervisor's name will be there as one of the authors. So I believe it is the responsibility of your supervisor now to apply to the faculty, because faculty do put aside some money, some funds for article publication. So it is you need to liaise with your supervisor when you are at that point. So to apply, because once you've published, obviously your supervisor is one of the authors, and he or she's name will be there as one of the authors. So the supervisor can apply through, to the faculty for the payment of the article fee. So that is one. So you don't necessarily have to spend your personal money to pay the article, because I mean, you can liaise with your supervisor to do that. And with respect to the first one, in terms of the research, process, the same thing applies. If you have to collect data, or you need to do some traveling to collect some data, you can liaise with your supervisor. Perhaps there is, some allocation of money or funds that have been allocated for that activity. You remember, they always say information is power. If you don't know, if you are not aware of it, then you won't be able to, of course, tap into that particular information to be able to utilize it for your own activity. So I will suggest you engage with your supervisor and ask him that, look, you attended the postgraduate information session, and these are what you learned from there. Is it true? Is it possible through the faculty? Heather, is that clear?
Yes, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other question? All right. This time around, yes.
Thank you, Prof. Just a follow-up on the previous discussion.
Okay.
If your supervisor is in a different faculty and you are registered in another department, what happens? Can the supervisor apply for that APC from their faculty to kind of sponsor when you are registered in a different faculty?
In as much as it is not, if it is not at university, that supervisor is a nurse, and the affiliation that will be under the authorship is Namibia University of Science and Technology, whether it is from Project Service Unit or, remember, you may have your supervisor in a faculty that is different from that where the qualification resides. So it doesn't matter. If, in as much as the supervisor and the students are, what they call it, blood and flesh of nurse, then it's the same money, the same application. So obviously the supervisor will be, the supervisor will apply. So for example, I'm supervising you, you are in engineering, I'm in health sciences, right? And we want to publish now. I will apply for the payment of that particular article from my faculty. Simple.
Right.
Is that okay?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. It was really insightful. I just have one question about the short courses and the seminars, conferences, and all these things. Do you already have maybe it calendared so we can maybe upfront schedule it? Because sometimes you will find yourself, you have a whole lot of other commitments. So if you can already maybe share these dates upfront, so we can just to avoid missing out on these very important courses, seminars, and conferences that we will then obviously need for this journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, it's I mean, what you just asked basically is something that is always encouraged. I mean, you plan. As they say, if you don't either plan to pass, I thought they call, how did they say, if you don't plan to pass, I can't remember they say. So it's basically planning. Once you plan, you're able to arrange your activities. Currently, Ms. Muyai, the program director, will actually provide us with that information in terms of, should I say, the seminars and the lectures that we will actually be provided. They are not exhaustive. And of course, one of the things that we also, planning to do is also to engage. We have what we plan to do, but we want to also engage, with our postgrads and our colleagues in terms of, what are the things that you will want us to actually do in terms of, capacity development and in terms of skill proficiency as well. So that it's not always all that, seems to know, what is best, for you all out there. So we want to, but we have, ideas of what, we feel will be beneficial, but we want to engage with you as well, so as to be able to say, okay, well, this is fine. All right, we can do this, we can do that as well. So that at least collectively, remember, as we said earlier, it's a journey which we plan to actually work together, to the finish line. So Ms. Muyai, the program director, will share that information with us. Is that okay, Casey?
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you.
So, any hands on again? No. Any question from the audience indoor? No. Thank you so much.
Colleagues, Professor Opolu, thank you so much for the presentation and for engaging with the questions that were being raised by our postgraduate community here at NUST. We have managed to recover on time. I'm looking at our Prof. Opolu to appreciate his ability to consolidate the message. So we'll be breaking for tea, and according to my program, we are breaking for tea. It's 10:30, so we are 4 minutes ahead, 6 minutes ahead of time. So if we break for tea now, can I kindly request that we reconvene at 10:45, so that we can start with the mid-morning session, where we will speak to, we'll take you through what will be presented then, but if we can just take a quick tea break, then we reconvene. We still have some slots that we need to catch up on. The second presentation that Prof. Opolu was supposed to speak to, we'll roll it over to that session. So if we can just please make sure 10:45 on the dot, we are back, so that we try and recover on time lost. We are still a presentation behind. Thank you so much. For those online, a warm cheers to you. Please remain with us at 11, we will reconvene. Those that are physically present, there is a coffee and tea station outside. Please have something to eat, drink, and do network. Use the time to network and have conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can somebody
colleagues online?
Yes, but there's an echo.
Okay, so now I can mute. Should I leave the meeting because previous like that here I'm muted? Can you reduce the volume?
Center. They actually thought we don't start it. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I didn't know how it got muted.
Probably during the tea break. We have got thumbs up.
I'll just quickly run again. I was saying that we're starting with the registry functionalities. We are privileged to have our faculty officers, for the 4 faculties meet here physically. They left their functions and they decided to come and join us here for the benefit of our postgrad students. That they, of course, sometimes, as they say, it might be good to put the name to the face. I'm sure some of you might have been writing emails, sending SMS and WhatsApp to our FOs, but this presents an opportunity to at least, to see them physically, to put a face to the name. So I wouldn't disturb our FO again for them to stand up, but these are their names as well as their contact addresses. We will share them. In terms of functionalities, these are the ones that services I'm sure they will provide.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Julia Semi. I'm the faculty officer for computing and informatics faculty. We have other faculty officers here from faculty of faculty of health. But in Comet, you'll find many departments there. The logistics department, the human affairs department, accounting and economics, and so on. Okay. I'm here to talk about the functions, what we do as faculty officers or at the registrar's office. We have the examinations department, and that department deals with assessment issues or matters, whether it's continuous assessment or it's exam-related assessment. And then we have the Students Records Office. They deal with the record keeping of all the students' files and documents. They are kept there. And then there is the admissions department who deals with the admission when the students are coming in. So we work closely with that department because we are also involved in the admissions and also registration of students. So the faculty officer sees students just from the start when they're starting at admissions until they graduate. So they do graduation methods. So for registration, if you have a problem with any registration method, you have to consult your faculty officer, your relevant faculty officer, because you are in different faculties. Whether it's cost calculations or amendments you want to cancel or add some subjects, or you don't understand your curriculum, you have a query regarding that, then you need to consult your faculty officer. We have yearbooks. The most important two books that a student should look at or should read through is the general rules and regulations. That's the yearbook, part 1. That's how it's treated. And then there is another one for each faculty, like for computing and informatics, for example, that's yearbook part 3. So you have to look at it and then find your relevant book, yearbook. And then you have to go through that. That's where you get the curriculum of everything, all the courses offered or the programs offered in your specific faculty. The general yearbook is very important for everyone because that's where you find cancellation date or the institutional calendar is also there. That shows when can you cancel a subject with 100% credit or just 50%. Because most of the students, they decide to cancel at any time and they find themselves paid for the whole course because they didn't submit, they didn't cancel on time. The reason for those cancellation dates is because you have used the services of the institution. So for you to cancel in April, we have to charge you for the services that you have been provided with from February to that April. So that's the reason. Okay, I don't know if there's any question, maybe.
Let's give a round of applause to Mr. You can imagine hijacking her just this afternoon and providing this information to us. I'm sure there are quite some information that she has mentioned that I, of course, myself, I'm not well aware of. Thank you so much for that. Thanks so much. Right. And of course, our email address and telephone number of our FO is shared, which of course you can also, access through the North website. If you have any other other questions or queries, simply just send an email or give them a call, and they are at your services. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll continue with the presentation. Meeting with your supervisor. Remember, once you've registered as a postgrad student, one of the first things that you need to do, basically, if you have not done that, before you register, because it's always advisable that, for postgrad student, master's or PhD, before you even go and pick up the form, you already have some kind of a conversation with someone in terms of what you want to do. It's usually advisable. But if that did not happen, then of course you need to actually meet with the supervisor you've been assigned to of course develop and finalize your research topic. It's very essential. The topic has to be aligned with the faculty research niche area. Each faculty do have their own research niche areas in terms of, remember, the research niche area of the faculty needs to align with that of the institution, that of North, and not research clusters definitely are aligned to the national thematic areas, whether it's water, food, energy, agriculture, all those things. So they are all aligned. So it's a responsibility of the supervisor to ensure that the topic that you are doing is aligned to these important niche areas and clusters. Now, as you all know, the qualification that you registered for at master's level is level 9, and for doctoral is at level 10. Then after that, discussion research strategy. You need to discuss, should I say, the implementation of your research, because what a research plan. Without a research plan, without a blueprint on how you are going to navigate your research, that's why sometimes, some students get, should I say, stuck in the middle. Oh, I need to change my title. Of course, there are times when it is quite necessary and, of course, legitimate to revise title. In such instances, revision of title might be as a result of maybe lack of equipment or lack of resources. That one is normally happen. But if because of the fact that the research is not well crafted, is not well designed, then there might be a need to revise, should I say, the entirety of the project. So you need to discuss in terms of, because if you don't discuss a research strategy, the research plan, I'm familiar with, should I say, the science-based, you can't go into the lab. You want to conduct microbial, should I say, experiment. You need to have a list of all the requirements, whether filter paper, whether deionized water, whether Bunsen burner, whether spatula, whether all the requirements, all the tools that you need to work in the lab, you need to itemize them. You need to purchase them. They have to be ready before you step into the lab. You can't get to the lab, then start your experiment, then you look, I need filter paper. That is not planning. Okay, that experiment you've started is a waste of time because you cannot proceed because one of the materials or resources that you need for that research, you don't have it. Planning is very essential. Make sure that that is non-negotiable. Otherwise, it will be time wasting. You waste time, you waste resources, energy. So that's why it's important to do that. And of course, importantly, we will be monitoring that. It's one of the things that the postgraduate office will be, should I say, using, because there are times when there are some, should I say, disagreement. I'll use the word disagreement, not misunderstanding, between the supervisor and the students on a number of issues. No, you didn't do this. No, I did this. You are supposed to do this. No, there has to be an MOU that specifies what that needs to be done. There's a template already for MOU, which of course are at the disposal of all supervisors and the departments as well. We will be monitoring that from our office to ensure that all students and supervisors do sign an MOU. So when there are discussions in terms of disagreement or this and that, we will refer to the responsibilities that you as a student, you have the responsibility to do this. This is what you said you were going to do. As a supervisor, you also have responsibilities because this is what you sign. You sign the MOU that you will guide the student on this. Then, of course, that serves as, should I say, a resource, a document for us to be able to mediate with respect to, should I say, the issue that behind. Now, African Continent Qualification Framework. These are the level descriptors. It's important that we share this so that we can put our mind in some when we are developing our proposal, including our supervisors as well. This is very important because now, when I'm actually developing research proposal at master's level, AQF level 9, by AQF level 9, it means 240 credit, and 240 credit translates into 2,400 notional hours. How do I design a research activity that will satisfy that notional hour? Because that is basically what the NQF approved, that look, for you to award this degree, the student must have conduct activities that span this time frame. You cannot do master research in 6 months or 8 months and say, no, I have. You need to satisfy, you need to actually embark on that journey for that period of time. And that requires skill as well in terms of, empowering the students and setting up or designing activities that will get the student occupied for that 2,400 notional hour, 2 years, if registered for full time, 2 years. So now, what are the expectations? At level 9, the learning outcomes related to formal, non-formal, and informal learning at this level. If it's at level 9, AK level 9, the mastery of complex body of knowledge at the forefront. That's why I highlighted and underlined those keywords. Mastery. You need to master. Skill. Formulate a test. You need to be able to formulate. Required to demonstrate original new insight and to formulate a test and theory. Highly specialized. In terms of autonomy and responsibility, you need to be able to develop highly specialized, sense of responsibility at master's level. Remember, the honors level is regarded as the training. You've been trained at honors in terms of the fundamentals and rudiments of research, but you're now at the mastery level. Yes, you still need some guidance, but there are, should I say, expectation for you to take responsibility of what you are doing, because now is the gradation. At master level, more responsibility is required. PhD, the learning outcomes related to formal, non-formal, and informal learning at this level. What do we require in terms of knowledge? Substantial and original. Okay, we might probably break that into two, because sometimes some people say, look, the time of Albert Einstein is gone. There are no many, Newton. There are no many, new, inventions, creations. But if we don't have that, we can still have substantial and original. Maybe not novel. Substantial means something that is impactful. You create something. You research into an area that has significant impact on the community, on the society, and possibly the world at large. That is the word substantial at PhD level. Your outcome must have significance, must have impact, must have a different twist. There's no point, as I always say, in flogging, a dead horse. There's no point in conducting research where there is ample information there. Of course, that doesn't mean that you cannot increase the frontier of knowledge in that area. If, for example, there is a new approach that you can achieve that particular endeavor in a shorter time, faster mode, new technology, new approach, it's welcome. That can be regarded as substantial and original. So these are some of the things that I expected. We are sharing these with you so that when you're developing your proposal, you will have at the back of your mind the expectation from the university that you need to be able to actually improve and extend the frontier of knowledge, because I think they do it at the honors, at the master's level. Yes, they acknowledge, but at the PhD level, your supervisor will need to come to the podium and read that excerpt of the area, how your research has contributed to knowledge, how substantially your research has extended the frontier of knowledge. And you want to be proud. I'm sure by that time you are wearing that big hat. The hair will be swelling. You want to be smiling that, yes, I've done this. And this is basically for you to reflect that while you're doing that research, you are fast forwarding, you are thinking ahead in terms of that time that, that cap will be, you will be capped with that. And you will say, yes, I've had, a bit of, should I say, I've extended, the frontier of knowledge. I did in my PhD. That's why I'm still nodding my head about 24 years ago, up to today. I don't even know where my thesis is. But if you ask me what I did, I will tell you from A to Z. Because I own it. I own that research. I didn't wait for my supervisor to spoon-feed me to be doing this. No. My supervisor had to tell me, no, what you have done is enough. No. If you do this, there's too much. That is ownership. Okay. You own it. So that's basically the reason why we are sharing this slide to you, so that you'll be able to add value to what you are doing as well. Not just the supervisor. Remember, it's you. I mean, at PhD level, that DR is going to be in front of your name. And by that time, your working steps will even change. It will change. You will see. Tell me. Now, research proposal development. I'm sorry that I'm eating up. Okay. Research proposal development. Remember, for most full-time thesis, We have structured masters and we have full-time based thesis. For most of the PhDs, I'm sure they are full thesis based. The curriculum of the full thesis based, most of them says that you have the first 6 months to develop your proposal, right? Mostly applicable to full-time. The timeline for structural master may be different because the component of the research for the structural master is a little bit different, about 40%, okay? If you don't complete in 6 months, you may be given an extension. But you will see the implication of that, the need for you to complete in the first 6 months. You will see when we go to the next slide, because everything has implication. They give 6 months because of the fact that it's not as if they ask you to wait 6 months. No. If you're able to finish your proposal in 3 months, even in 2 months, well and good, in as much as it meets all the, should I say, the quality required. It contains all the quality required. If you finish in 2 months or 3 months, it's fine. But the maximum time that's given in the curriculum is 6 months. Now, proposal presentation. Most departments and our faculties require you to present your proposal, to the audience, to faculty members for quality assurance purposes. Ensure thorough and quality proposal is not negotiable. The presentation that you are having is a measure of achievement. The curriculum is required that in the curriculum, remember, it's a full thesis. You are not writing a test or, there's no mark awarded, but the mark that is being awarded is the performance assessment of your proposal. It is an assessment in the thesis-based curriculum. That's why you receive critique. If what you've presented is not good, I don't want to use some of these, rubbish or whatever. If what you've presented is not of good quality, they will turn it down. Please, Mr. A, also go and do it again. Go and do it. They said you receive the comment. That means, of course, your proposal cannot go to the next level. Proposal format for the masters are usually encouraged, or what we normally do is we encourage proposal, because for the master's proposal, what is required is what is referred to as summary of proposal, SOP. It's usually a summary of, should I say, the full proposal. So what some students do, because the summary proposal, there's a template for it. It's about 3 or 4 pages where you're supposed to populate introduction, literature review. Imagine, have a page for introduction. That's why they call it summary. Right. The template is there at the faculty. Your supervisor will give you the template. But what we normally encourage students to do is develop, whether at master's level, develop your full proposal. Because at the end of the day, you are more or less even writing your thesis in a way. You've already started writing your thesis because your proposal contains those elements, the chapters, introduction, literature review, methodology. So write your full proposal at the master's level, then summarize it condense it into that summary of proposal. Because what the higher degree committee of the university want is the summary of proposal, because they feel that there's no need to read the full proposal. That's for the masters. But for the PhD, it's full proposal. And the format also is available. Your supervisor will provide you with a format. I thought it's not might be time wasting to start bringing those formats here. But your supervisor in the department do have those formats, for the proposal. The research ethics, of course, you need to consult your supervisor as well, because we have faculty and the institutional research ethics committee. If your research has to do with animals, human, even collecting, information from people, from questionnaire, it has to pass through the ethical, should I say, approval as well. Now, this is the point I'm trying to say. We will soon get to Madam Chair. After your proposal is finalized, you together with your supervisor, you think, okay, we've done the best. Everything is top notch. As the Department of Quality Assurance process, the department will have to, quality assure your proposal. They will have to, how did it do it? Of course, different departments have different, should I say, strategy of doing that. But typically, what happens is they will actually have, should I say, each department will have a postgraduate committee, which of course consists of some senior colleagues. They will pass your proposal through that committee, the Departmental Postgraduate Research Committee. They will quality assure your proposal. If that is done, then they send to the faculty research and completion committee. That's the second level, second tier of quality assurance. Once the paper is fully assured at the faculty level, you submit if there's any comments, remember, these are just processes. If there are any comments at this stage, they will send it back to your supervisor and to you now to make the corrections. After that is done, it goes to the faculty representative. Higher Degrees Committee is a subcommittee of Senate, because Senate cannot, remember, Senate is the highest academic decision of the university. Senate cannot do everything, because of time constraints. Senate will just probably constitute some committees to do certain functionality. So Higher Degrees is very important committee that, of course, is tasked to approve many of the academic, should I say, quality assurance process. So as a subcommittee of Senate, the representative, the faculty will collate all the quality assured proposal. And of course, approval by the executive dean is required. The executive dean would approve, yes, approve. Then it goes to the secretariat of Higher Degrees Committee. Now, Higher Degree Committee also has its own quality assurance process. You can see the layer. So in the faculty, there are two. The third one is at the Higher Degrees Committee. If the proposal is well done, not rare, not, those type of meat where you prepare your meat, some people prefer it rare. In this case, it's not rare. It has to be well done, well cooked, which means of high quality. That's what I meant by that, right? If it's reviewed by the reviewers at the Higher Degrees Committee level, in fact, you will see the result of the comment in the next slide and the implication of not having a quality proposal. So, and of course, the Higher Degree, this is basically what the implication is there. That's what I'm talking about. Now, remember, we mentioned that you have the first 6 months to develop proposal. The first meeting of Higher Degree Committee already took place in March, or will be taking place in March, on the March 19th. The first ordinary meeting of the committee. So, I mean, if a PhD student, is fast enough to have developed a proposal, maybe, but I doubt very few will meet this particular time. The next one is in June. That's why I highlighted it. Now, if looking at the first 6 months, if you prepare your proposal and you are targeting that period for approval, make sure that your proposal is grounded and of a high quality. Because you don't want your proposal to go to the next one in September. That means you'll be spending almost a whole year writing proposal. If it's a master's level, then you have just 1 year left. Full time, 1 year, more for data collection and to do everything. You can see the implication and the importance of working with time, right? So if you develop a proposal, make sure it's of a high quality, and of course, it will meet, should I say, the June, approval. Because if Higher Degrees Committee did not approve your proposal, you may not proceed with data collection. You may not. It's illegal to do that. If you do, it's start over again, because you didn't have the authority to collect the data, because the instrument that you're supposed to use or that you use for collecting data has not been approved. So it's time wasted, money wasted, resources. Now let's quickly look at the next slide. I'm almost done, Madam Chair.
1 minute here. Actually, now it's minus.
Minus, okay. Now, these are the approval categories that I'm talking about. Now, if approved with minor correction, at times, we have these are the 3 major categories. Hardly would you find a proposal that will say approve as it is. There will always be a comma, full stop, here and there. But the major category is approved. The first one is with minor correction. This is the one that is most desirable. Now, this first one, minor corrections. What are the issues that are normally ascribed to minor corrections? Minor corrections, formatting issues, typo, grammatical, minor comments on title, something that is not of an issue that you can easily correct and say, please go ahead. And what is the implication? You may proceed with your research. The corrections is only required to be done internally within the faculty, between the supervisor. The representative just needs to make sure that that correction those minor things are done. After all, the students just simply starting the research. I mean, they're still going to submit thesis. But that is it. Approval with major correction. Approval with in addition to the above, if there are issues with the research questions, consequently, if the research questions are wrong, for those of us that are familiar, your research objectives will be wrong because there is linear, should I say, relationship between research questions and the research objectives. So if the research questions are wrong, the research objective will be wrong. Some clarification. If there are some small problems with the methodology of what you want to use, okay, but not so much. That's why they will constitute it as major correction. Implication, you may proceed with your research. However, the higher degree committee wants to see the corrections that were made. You want to see it, whether you actually made the correction. For the minor, don't bring it to us, it's fine. But for the major, you need to do the corrections and submit to the high degree committee. The last one is the one that we don't want. That is not approved or sent back or rejected. It consists of errors, issues of both and more, right? If there is problem with your title, non-alignment of the title with the objective, research objectives, incoherence or non-feasibility of the research itself, the methodology you want to use is not applicable. You know, it's totally every aspect of the proposal. It's not right. They may not proceed. The implication is you may not proceed with the project. You need to resubmit. That is, you are doing it again. You are resubmitting as if you are submitting a new proposal, resubmission. It will go through the same quality assurance. At the PhD level, 2 reviewers will review your proposal. At master's level, it's 1 reviewer. So you can see how rigorous the quality assurance process is at high degree committee. 2 reviewers, separate reviewers. Each one of them will compile their results, and the high degree committee will see what did the reviewer A say on this? What did the reviewer B say on your proposal? If there is synergy between the, fine. That's why it is subcommittee of Senate. And other resources that are, library services. Thank God we have our colleague here. The equipment, I spoke about it earlier on. And there's a space, like I told you, here that will send the information to you. When you want to do your write-offs, you want to do your, you want to reflect, there's a space here, we call it the study hall, which you can use. And of course, the MOU has already been spoken about. I thank you, Madam Chair. You can entertain questions at the end of the program if you have some clarification.
You cannot stay off. You are still needed up here because I'm sure this is the heart of today's event. A number of questions will resonate around it. Am I correct, colleagues? Okay, by way of heads that are nodding, we'll take it as such. But there is a hand, Ms. Rosetta, please come through with your question.
Yeah, thank you. My hand has been up for some time because I've noticed that when Prof was presenting, I think it was about slide 15. So what at least I could see was not corresponding with what he was saying. So I wanted to see this slide because it contained very important dates and the process that the submissions would go through. So I wanted to see that. It's slide 15.
Okay, Prof. While Prof is coming up, are there any other questions in the house and online? Colleagues, I'm only opening up for 3 minutes because we are already behind schedule with your permission. But thank you, Prof, for the insightful presentation.
Thank you, Keith. This slide 15, because I've I don't know how to put it. I'm very much familiar with the processes over years. I'll put it that way. That's why this page is generic. Let me put it that way. it's the process that is, that is encouraged. One of the things that has been observed, remember, our function is there is to provide services to assist our postgraduate students, without necessarily, kind of creating further, delays. And timely processing of submissions is very required. So what I've presented here is the generic process. Obviously, there is quality assurance, is even in the research guidelines and research policy. Departmental research committee are tasked to ensure the quality assurance of, should I say, part of their function is to look at the proposals of postgrads. So that's why we put in there departmental quality assurance. From there, it goes to the faculty, research and publication committee. So at that level, each faculty now have their own strategy or strategies of implementing the quality assurance. Whether they send it to other senior members to look at it, to query, to review it, it's up to the faculty. So that's the second level of quality assurance. Now from there, you go to the higher degree committee. Yes, there has been some discussions in terms of allowing this process to occur at the faculty level. I'm sure it's still an ongoing discussion, but what I know is like when the university is satisfied with the level of quality coming from the faculties, then of course, the SADA functionality can now be entrusted, at that level. That's why it still goes to the higher degree committee. So the third level of quality assurance is the HDC. So you can see the level of the rigor at which the proposal are subjected to. At the end of the day, what we are trying to assure as a university is to make sure that the quality of the proposal are of one of the highest standard. Because many of these proposals may find their way outside the shore of NOST, and some of them are submitted to the Ministry of Health and Social Services for approval. Those of them that require Ministry of Health, approval. And when they see a proposal, they will say, okay, is this coming from NOST? So that's why we need to ensure that, have I answered your question, Case?
Yes, that's quite clear. So I understand that these dates actually is not for the students. So we shouldn't be misled. These probably will then go to different faculty levels. So there we would have different dates for students. So if we say 19 March, it doesn't necessarily mean this is now for the students. So maybe for the students, it could be a bit earlier. So I understand it as such.
All right. Yeah, but it's good for everyone to know this, to have this information, not just for staff only. It's good for the students to know this timeline. If I'm a postgrad student and I know there is a higher degree committee in June coming up, that gives me the information that I need to speed up. I want to meet that particular submission, then I need to actually put effort into my proposal. So it's the information it's a university calendar. It's picked from university calendar. And remember, university calendar is a public document. It's even on the website. So this is just a kind of a reminder. But essentially, from our side, it's information that is good for the postgraduate student as well, not only for staff members, because students can work their part. They can use their work plan to target this information that has been provided. So that's why we decided to share it with our postgrads. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Case.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, Director Seluji.
I sympathize with Prof. Awupolo today. I think some of these events are almost a strength of stamina. But as he also builds capacity within his own division, in follow-up years, it will be lighter for him. But for now, he has to bear the brunt of this event. It's quite critical that he shares his perspective because he sits in a lot of these structures within the university. If there are no additional questions, I am going to, it's actually my honor to invite our next speaker. It's Dr. Tetu Shiweda. I've got a certain bias towards the I'll let her introduce herself. She's the researcher, and she's the head for, is it faculty and research services within the library. And she will take us through and provide us information around the services and resources that are available for postgraduate students at NAM. But I'm going to invite Tetu, would you tell them what your PhD doctoral focus is, just the sector? Then they'll understand why when I see you, I feel at home. I actually told her I will be her best friend for the next few years, and she will understand why when she introduces herself. Dr. Shweda, the floor is yours. In terms of presentation, let me close this one. Okay.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, colleague.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Dr. Tatu Shweda, as been mentioned already. But I would also want to say colleagues, because you are still my colleagues. I'm currently doing one of my masters. I'm doing my master's and in the process what just proof what's going through now. Okay.
Sorry, Tetu, I'm just trying to forward. I see 12 is not copied, so I'm forwarding your presentation.
Okay.
1 minute.
Well, our presentation is coming. The students that we have today, they are from different faculties, right? Yes. Okay. Is there anyone from Head here? No. Oh, okay. Okay, but it's still good to go. I did my PhD. It was I graduated my PhD in 2019 from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. My topic was on the usability of digital repositories. So I was investigating the usage of the usability of a digital repository. That we have one of them here, and one of the digital repositories that we have here is called Unongo repositories. Have you ever accessed that Unongo repositories? So I was looking at the design. Is it user friendly? How does it serve its users, the end users, and everything that involves. So my topic or my study was around that, the usability of digital repositories. Okay, so today I'll be presenting, or I'm giving information or presenting on the library services, the support we give towards the last community, and most especially today to postgraduate students that are sitting here. Okay, so that's our mission. The responsive library equipped scholars and global success by offering vibrant, innovative information and knowledge services. And that's our structure. We have the three main departments in the library. We have faculty and research support. That was the one that I'm heading. And we have client services and the collection management. So then we are going to look at research support, scholarly communication, where to publish, so sharing information about where to publish and how to avoid some certain type of journals that you need to avoid. But to be honest, with the 15 minutes that I'm having, I will not be able to do all this, to give you all this information today. Going through, because I have to go online, show you the recommended journals where you can publish, and the one that you have to to avoid and all that. I'm just giving you information. This is what we do. And do you have any questions and guidance? You can always visit the library and we'll give you that information. We do consultations on every day. And yeah, we can take it up to you on the private consultations and or maybe in a different training this, but today just some guide. So the lab will also do LEAP guides, the informative LEAP guides where we give more information about if it is we publish different web LEAP guides on different subjects, on different services. If you go to our website, you will be able to see these LEAP guides that are really giving so information or they are informative about our services. And yes, so we have the library and information skills training. The library information skills training, that's where we give trainings. Okay, we give trainings to students, but mostly these ones are the lecturers or the academics. They make appointment with the library and say, I see my students are struggling with, let me say, referencing, or they don't know where to find information online. So they need training on how to reference stuff and or maybe where guidance on where how to access e-resources and all that. So we call that program library and information skill training. We mostly do them on request from the faculties. Then we have subject-oriented bibliographic instruction. This is just more on user education. When we receive a new service or maybe we have inquire a new database that that we have never used before, we are there for training. We can give training in different areas. Advanced information literacy, e-learning courses. We have advanced information literacy e-learning courses. The library has developed 3 courses. One of them is basic information literacy and basic information literacy. And we also, I want to talk more on this advanced information literacy, which is aimed for postgraduate students. So if you want to access that course, you can visit the library. We can enroll you in the course, and you just go through the course. At the end of the day, when you complete the course, you can get the certificate. But the content of it has to do everything that has to do with postgraduate student activities, like how to write up. That's just a few guidance on how to write up your literature review and different documents that are guiding you in different services or activities that you're supposed to go through as a postgrad student. So we have that course. If you are interested in that course, come at the library, then we enroll you because it's built on e-learning, on module, like any other course. We enroll you and you take up a course on your own free time. Yes. So we have tutorial videos, do it yourself. They are on the website. If you like to learn how to access maybe e-resources, how to use a certain database, how to get information from, we have tutorials on the website that are guiding you on how to do this by yourself. We have APA citation guide in print and electronic format. APA citation guide. I thought I'll bring one here, but I didn't bring any. Have you seen that? We have an APA guide. Yes, one of my students say yes. So it's a guide that guides you on it's a notified APA guide. Okay, so even though APA is not a NAS, it's not a product of a NAS, but we have put in that guide to simplify it for you, and that's a guide that you're supposed to follow. We have the 2 different formats: print format and electronic format. A print format, they are all, you got them when you pay a fee. The print format is $60. You go to the cashier, many campus, you tell the cashier, I'm paying for the APA guide, and they will you pay there, they will give you a receipt, and you bring the receipt to the library because you don't receive any money at the library, you don't handle money. You pay there and bring the receipt, and they give you. If you prefer the electronic one is a bit cheaper, but the process is a bit complicated. I don't want to discourage you, but the process is a bit complex. But if you prefer electronic, you go pay the electronic, I think it's $30. You pay there and you scan the proof of payment. That's a guide how to access that, and it's going to be you put a pin where you'll be able to access that. And it's just a one-time pin. Every person is just one given that pin. Research Common, we have the Research Common, where it's a space, friendly space where it accommodates postgraduate students and postgraduate students and researchers to come there and sit on, because we don't want our postgraduate students, they come in the library and they sit wherever that other students are sitting, because some of them want to sit there for the whole day or a very longer time. And these students, the younger students might make some noise and all that. You want to sit where it's quiet and you do or your own work. You produce a quality proposal that's like this. If you do that on the very quiet environment, it's just Research Common. It's level 3. When you go there, you find people that are sitting also there, and you just quite silent. You have time and the space to think, and you'll be able to produce that beautiful proposal that I'm also busy with now. Okay, and we have that's the Research Common. It's mostly just for master's students and PhD students plus the researchers. And interlibrary loan, that's when we can request a book. If you don't have it here, it's not. Even in an article, you find it a very interesting article and you don't have access to it. Access to it, it means if you are not prescribed to that database where that article is. If you have not prescribed to that database, you will not be able to access it, right? So if you are not be able to access it, it does not mean it's the end of road for you. You can still come to us and we can inquire it from whichever university that is having access to it and bring it to can be a book or journal article and so on. And Ask a Librarian, I don't know how many people have used these services. It's found on the website. If you have any question regarding the library and services, where to find this and that, just there, type your question, and the responsible librarian is going to give answer to you. Faculty librarians, yes, we have faculty librarians that are assigned to every faculty. Every faculty you have in your librarian representative. When you come there, you should not feel lost and you don't know whom to talk to. There is a representative that's assigned for your faculty, and that's where you can do the consultations and everything that you need. I'm going to take you through that later. Okay, faculty librarians. Okay, the head of faculty is me, or the head of the section or department. It's me. Then we have the faculty of commerce, human science, and education. Because this is a little bit bigger, we have 3 librarians that are assigned for this faculty. We have Ms. Monica Amen for management, science, research common. She's also the one that is managing the research common, interlibrary loans, and it's also responsible for Herald PubCavet student. And we have Ms. Damelina Juko, and it's responsible for accounting, economics, finance, marketing, and logistics. You find yourself doing your studies around that subject or that area, you can consult them. When you come in the library, just ask, I'm looking for Ms. Damelina Juko. Or if you are doing communication, you are registered under communication, TVET, social science, education, hospitality, and tourism. Your faculty librarian is Stephen Wisaki, and is sitting at the research common. Faculty of Computing and Informatics, your faculty librarian is Adina Nakande, and Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, your faculty librarian is Mr. Heki Kalenga, and Faculty of Health, your faculty librarian is Ms. Sikunawa Shopala. Okay, we have, as I mentioned, we have 3 departments. I'm done with the faculty and research support department, where I am, where I'm particularly from. But we also have the client services, the department that deals or that deals with clients almost in everyday life. They deals with circulation, loan privilege, the loan privilege. They have 10 books, 10 items for 30 days for students, and loan privilege. So if you are a postgraduate student, you can actually get 10 books, and you are given 30 days. My library account, you log in with your student domain, credentials, library rules. There are also library rules and fines. And that's the email we are using. Collection management, this is the department that deals with collection or building our collection in the library through like, okay, acquiring books, and it can be e-books or print books. And yeah, this is the department that deals with that. Most of the time, not most of that, but particularly, we do collections of books. We acquire books also through our academics, because without the recommendation of our academics, we might have an idea of what to order, but we don't want to order books that are not making any sense or are not relevant for that particular course. So we seek for the recommendation from the academics to make sure that that's what is needed in the department. Maintain the library discovery for portal, library search, and ensure access to e-resources. Ensure access to e-resources. So it means now the descriptions and ordering of the e-resources pass through that department. So information resources, we have about, how much is that? How do you read that number? 281 e-book that you have at the library. And the print books, that's the number. E-journals, 39,000. Please make use of the e-resources at the library. I know now that this is now postgraduate. It's not like for library young people that when they only come at the library like in their 4th year when they're looking for something, and they will tell you, this is my first time I'm visiting the library. What have you been using for your assignments and everything? I just use internet. So you do know that they just go to Google and pick anything that's on their disposal. So now when it comes to academic postgraduate, this is crucial. They have to be like using the accredited source of information. It must be books, peer-reviewed journals, and we have those ones at the library. Please make use of this, because that's also what boosts our statistics. When we have to retain a specific database that gives us book with a procurement or whatever at another level, they are going to ask us how much did this database be used. So if nobody has been accessing it, or maybe it's only the few people that are accessing it, they will say, no, this is not needed. Why do you want to renew the contract? Or why do you want to bring it back? So we need this make use. You never regret when you use these databases, because it comes in handy. Some of our databases, they come with hints on how to reference this and that. Yes, please make use of those. How to find information resources. You go to the library website, library search, library discovery. You can use the library discovery when you open the library website. Down there, you see a space there where it says library discovery. You just enter whatever you want there, and it's going to search all over all different places and bring that what you want. Library of campus, access to e-resources, and on campus. So that's why I say the time allocated to me, because if I have to train on e-resources, mostly I need an whole hour presenting on e-resources only, on access and everything. So this was just a briefing. After that, you know already now you know what we have, and you are going to make consultation and all that. I'll give you a guidance on how to access e-resources when you are off campus, when you are home, wherever you are in the world, and all that, and also when you are on campus. And the library app download from Google Play and all that. We also have a library app. Facilities, we have internet cafe, very, very, very crucial to all of us. You have issues with your password, e-learning password, MS Team password, whatever password, kiosk password, and all this. If you are struggling with yours, most of this expires. If you are not able to log in, you just make your way to the library in the level 2. They'll be able to help you, and we help with different technical issues. While I'm here, I should also mention that they also assist with technicality that's in surrounding the SPSS that all of you very soon be using. SPSS, they can download it for you and install it for you, but they're not going to tell you how to use it. It's just downloading and installation. How to use it? Yeah, you're going to get that knowledge somewhere. And very importantly, I will also maybe I'm so excited to mention that to announce that or to mention that we have we have finally acquired the EndNote. You know EndNote? EndNote is here. EndNote is here, as we have already noticed that most of us have been using what is this manually, and it's like it phased out. You cannot find. I think they were just doing their marketing thing and all that, but you are not left out. We have the we have the EndNote now. It's available at NAT. If you need it, we are going to do training around faculties and departments. But if you have used it already, maybe you can just go to internet cafe, take your device there. They're going to download it for you, and they are going to install it for you. We don't have it open because you always at the end of the day you need admin password or PIN for them to install it for you. But would you need it? And if you need it urgently and you need that training urgently, you can organize something for you, just for somebody to take you through if you have something that is urgently requiring EndNote. Yes, we have it here. So yeah, we also have student computer labs, level 4. That's where they do their activities, their assignments, and all that. Group study room, and book system, and all that. Comfort photocopier, yes, the printers. We have photocopiers and printers in the library. And when it comes to usernames, password, and Wi-Fi issues, conduct ICT support at the internet cafe. Maybe you need for the IT team to connect your device to, it can be a laptop or a phone, to connect your device to the Wi-Fi, NAS Wi-Fi, and all that. You can get that service at internet cafe. And general queries, ask our friendly library chatbot. We have a chatbot. Sometimes it's it's a human that might respond to your questions there, but during the night, our II will respond to your questions through this chatbot. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So for those who wanted to know why I said she's not my best friend, you cannot pursue doctoral studies without being friends with someone from the library. So please do make personal time to go and engage with colleagues. She'll direct you to the right people. But I can see there are a number of burning questions in the room, but also a round of applause from the online participants. I think your presentation is an eye-opener for all postgraduate students, masters, and PhD students alike. There is a question on the chat box that says, how about us that are not in Windhoek? How can we be assisted with EndNote installation? So there is that question, how about us who are not in Windhoek? And how can we have EndNote installed on our computers? And then there's another one from a colleague, Ms. Shipanga. Can the SPSS and EndNote be installed on private laptops? That's also a follow-up question from those that are online. Please keep the questions coming in. We will read them out. Feel free to raise your hand also if you want to speak to the presenter. These are the two questions we have from the online participants. I'll also extend the same invitation to the participants in the house today. Any questions, colleagues? Feel free. Dr. Shiweda, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ceremony. For the two questions, the first question, how about us that in the region, if now that the installation has to be done from person to person? Okay, I think I'm glad that I came here. I did not even thought about that, but now at least I know I'm taking something from this workshop. So that's what we're going to talk about now. So how are we going to assist our students in the regions? And I think, but to just answer briefly, the only way is to travel. But our IT teams have to travel there, because it has to be installed on the private laptop and all that. That was also there was also second question. As long as you are a registered NAP student and the proof of registration and all that, the student number will already indicate it can be installed. Installed in your private device. And yes, our IT guys will really have to go. You are not going to be left out. We will really make sure that we will reach out to you. Already have programs that we visit region. We already have programs that we go to Enana, Ranjemund. Now we have a new library there. I don't know if you are aware of that. Just started last year. We have a library in Uis, and the one in not just a library, but I think the small campuses that are coming up there in Ludrecht, and the ones that have been Tapi or Po is closed and all that. But we have been already having these outreach programs to the regions. So we will just make a proper planning that when we are going there, we are taking one of the IT guys to go and do the installations there, because everything is available online. It can be embedded even on our website. The only issue is that you need the password, and that password cannot be shared with everyone. And that's the only problem. We just take somebody there with a password and do the installation.
And Dr. Mabuku is also asking, do I need to renew EndNote license? And if so, how often in a year? Is it an annual thing? When it's installed, how often should one renew? And there's also another question. Well, this one is just a comment. Do not forget root to Dr. Shiweda. So feedback from the online participants.
We have our prescription is we have the 4 contract with this company that's giving us EndNotes. But it's a 4 contract agreement, but it has to be renewed every year. After now, what's having running is from January up to January next year, and we are going to renew our license and in January again. So once you have it now, it will run until next year, January next year, until we pay again. I don't think it's not going to be. We have to make sure that we renew it before it stops working. So you don't need to be every time bringing your, So we have a contract for 4 years, and until that 4 years, then we have to renew it immediately before anything happens, and we renew it again. Would we provide evidence that it's really highly used and nice community needs these services?
And we give Dr. Shued another hand. Thank you. Catherine, I'll take 2 more questions, then I'll wrap up. Another question in the house? Our doctor to be Catherine, please go ahead.
I wanted to know, you mentioned the library app. One of the I was trying to access it. Oh, I don't know which one exactly it is.
The library app where you can I think we have different. I'll give it to you because I think we have one and the one was not properly working and it was properly. I mean, it was worked out. I can't really, but I will assist you.
Thank you so much. Any other hands? Clearly, the demand for your services is there. At times, people just don't know who and how to start the conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. Shueda. At this point in time, I'm not going to make my presentation. However, I'm going to request my colleague because we are already behind schedule. So I figured maybe she presents first, and then I come in last because I'm here. So I'm going to invite my colleague from Student Services, Madam, if you could join us and share with us. I'm not sure if you have a... Excellent. Okay. Prof, I'm not very good with So Ms. Lizelle Miller is actually with Student Services. She's a social worker, and I think she's just the right person to speak about study and student balance, you know, to ensure that you don't burn out. And if you do see yourself approaching burnout, there are services at your disposal that you can tap into. And thank you so much, and we apologize for the delay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ms. Lizelle Miller. I'm the social worker on campus, responsible for students' well-being across the board, from undergraduates, postgraduates, all of that. And I kind of represent the Department of Student Services, but then also our director. I'm going to maybe just focus on 2 things. I'm going to introduce the department to you so that you know what services are available. And then I'll have a little bit about student success and well-being. And please feel free, I have pamphlets. So from the pamphlets, all the information about our department is there, contact information, email addresses, all of that. So you have that information and you can use it. So we are basically responsible for promoting and supporting student success and well-being. And our mission is to enrich your lives by engaging, educating and supporting you through your studies. I think one of the things, let me see, who of you are doing your masters now? Who's doing, okay, who's doing their PhDs? Okay. Who of you have families, like a wife, a husband, children? Who of you are there? Okay.
Yes.
Who of you are currently working also that are doing? Okay, so there's a lot of things. for you. And you know what I always say to students, when we start studying, life doesn't stop. Life goes on. So you are still going to have challenges in your life. You still have all those responsibilities. And now you have an extra stress and challenge in your life. So you have to kind of learn to balance all of these things. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute more, but maybe just to introduce our department to you. So we have a clinic. It's on main campus. And there we have our 2 registered nurses. They are open from Monday to Friday. And of course, there's just a small payment if you want to go to the clinic. I think it's at this point, it's $25 that you pay at the cashier, and then you can use the clinic as you need. And then there's certain workshops. I'm just going to go through all the workshops quickly. But we always have all the information about our workshops. And if you are interested in attending it, is available on our Facebook page, Department Student Services, or NAS DSS, our Instagram post. So you can get all that information. It will also be posted every time or during the week. Then the next person is me. So I'm responsible for all social welfare individual counseling. I've started with a peer support group specifically, and then I have a lot of workshops. And then I'm also responsible for the new student orientation at the beginning of the year, the mental health week, and then also I have a student assistance program. And if you have any kind of challenge when you start with your studies, anything from relationships, you're getting stressed, you are depressed, anxious, you are very welcome to communicate with me. And I always say to students, the best thing to do when you get your pamphlets, you'll see, is to communicate with us through emails. Then we make an appointment and we see how we can accommodate you, especially with the postgraduate students, some of you that are working, and it's not always easy to get away from work. So we see how we can accommodate you. So you can send us an email, you can call us, it's up to you. So basically everything with regards to your mental health, you can contact me about. Then we have Ms. Alta. She's a student counselor, so anything with regards to academics, you can talk to her. So, for instance, study skills, time management, all of those things, you can concentration, all of that, you can contact her about. And then she's also responsible for all HIV/AIDS activities on campus. And also there's an academic tutoring, but I think that's more for undergraduate students for specific modules. So there's also tutoring available. Then we have our career guidance practitioner, Mr. Michael Kissing, and everything with regards to career, CV writing, all of those things is within his job description. Then we have Mr. Green and Mr. Gabriel, or we call him Toxie. They are responsible for accommodation, leadership, and then things like cultural society, sport codes, academic clubs, if you want to get involved with that. Then just quickly your SRCs. Their offices are also on main campus. So sometimes when you are having challenges, you can also contact them. And I'm just tell that's it, okay? So I really want to talk about, and this is what I want to talk about, is study life balance means putting enough effort into your academic work while also taking time to enjoy the social, sporting, and cultural aspects of being a student. And I know I have lots of students who come on campus and say, you know, in my first year, I just focus on my academic, which is fine, but you have to at some point get a balance, because then what usually happens in the second year is students are feeling overwhelmed, they're feeling stressed because they are just studying. So it's basically what they say, I go to class or I work and then I go home, I sleep, and then I'm going like that. So this is not very healthy. So it's important to have some kind of balance in your life. So I've just put a few things down that I want to talk about. Now, I think, and I wondered, especially with you that are, like, you have families, have you spoken to your family about, I'm going to do my PhD now, for instance? Have you spoken to them and, you know, this is what's going to happen while I'm studying? You know, have you spoken to your family about it? Can I ask you?
Yes.
Have you spoken to them?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so it's important to include the people around you when you decide you want to do your master's or your PhD, because you have now an added responsibility in your life. So there will need to be sacrifices somewhere, okay? This is an added thing. So you need to realize, and I say this also a lot to students, you need to realize your life will not remain the same. For the next 2, 3, 4 years, while you do your PhD and your master's, a lot of your time will be spent on studying and giving attention to that. So you will have to sacrifice some of the things in your life. Okay? So that is really important from the get-go to realize things are not going to be the same. You cannot party every weekend. It'll not work. So you need to, from the beginning, say to the people in your life, this is what I'm going to do. I would like your support, but also realize that I might have to sacrifice some of my time that I would have spent with you on my studies. And if you have that discussion from the get-go, everyone is on the same page. Okay? So I think it's very important to have that discussion and to have that awareness for you. The second thing that I've thought I want to also motivate you about is just setting goals for yourself. Saying, I want to do this by this time. I want to do this by this time. This is what my plan is for the year. This is my goals. I think one of the things that I always say to students, when we go on a holiday, we don't just get into the car and start driving. We have an end destination in mind. So this is exactly what your goals are. It is your end destination. And you need to get some goals and formulate it for you so that you know this is what I want to do. Then according to your goals, you want an action plan. So set up. I think Prof has also spoken about the time that you need, which dates you need to do this. And in your action plan, you put that down. And when you do these things before you start your action plan, your goals, your time management, if you do it from the beginning and you do proper planning, then things will be easier during the year. Because then you know this is what I'm going to be and where am I going to do what I'm going to do. Okay? So you have your goals, you set down your action plan. You plan. If you have to do assignments, if you have to do certain things, you put it in a diary. You have your diary and you really go and say exactly how your year is going to be. This is the day that I need to do this. This is the day that I'm going to have to do this. this is how I'm going to spend my Monday, my Tuesday, my Wednesday, my Thursday. Because I can promise you, if you don't plan and you don't have a specific idea of how you want to spend every day, at some point you will come and you will feel overwhelmed and you will feel under pressure. Because you will wake up and you will see, oh, I only have a week left and I've not done what I wanted to do. So it's really, really important to really have a plan in place, something in writing. Don't just have it in your head because you're going to not listen to it. You need to have a specific plan. And this is connected to your time management. For students, whether you are undergraduate, and I think even masters and PhD, time is always the challenge. You will always find if you don't make a plan on how you're going to manage your time, when are you going to spend on what, then you will at some point come into my office and say, Miss, I don't have enough time. Okay. So it's really important to really go and look at your diary and at your days and see how you're gonna be, where are you going to. And then of course, connected to that, I believe in my to-do lists. I have something like that. So every morning I go through my to-do list and I add what I need to add, and what I finished, I delete. So it's really important for you also to know how are you going to do it. Either make to-do list. Budget your time, very important. Also, create a reward system. So if you have completed something, celebrate it, be aware of it, and know, I've completed this and I can feel proud of myself. Because usually what happens, especially with masters and PhD students, is when you're halfway or 3/4 through your studies, you're starting to lose focus, concentration, motivation, all of that kind of is starting to be a problem for you. So if you do create this system where you reward yourself when you have completed a certain task, then you do feel proud and you feel remotivated. Okay? Okay. Ask for help, very important. Please do not sit with a problem for 2 months and do not ask someone to help you. There's many people on our campus, and especially I think this building and the people that are working here, they are there to help you get your PhD or your master. Right? So ask for help, get a solution and move on. Okay? Don't sit on a problem and waste your time worrying about it. We have resources that we can help you with. Take breaks, very important. I had a student in my office yesterday that he's now in his final year of engineering, and he's really feeling depressed. And I say to him, but take a day off. Take one day that you're not at all focusing on your studies. And the next day you will feel refreshed. Because he's at this point where he feels his brain is going to explode. Because he's so stressed, so overwhelmed. And you will know, starting with your PhDs and maybe even have finished your masters, it doesn't go smoothly. There's always some kind of challenge. So I would really say, do schedule some time that you just switch off completely and take a day. And then, of course, all of these things like healthy eating, getting enough sleep, or at least having a restful sleep. And as I go through, I can promise you, you will have these things in your life. it will come up where you really are struggling to sleep because of the worries. Exercise, get some fresh air. And I've already said, set aside days to relax. Okay? And again, seek help if necessary. So do not think a problem will resolve itself. It doesn't work like that. You have to really spend time and ask for help and ask for guidance if necessary. So that's basically my presentation. Welcome to NAT. Here for the first time, or you are just continuing your studies with NAT. So welcome. And I really wish you all the best. Okay, is there any questions? Is there anything? Yes.
Find time, rest. Rest with the action. I think
You have to say this. Nobody, and it's impossible. Nobody can study continuously for 2-3 years. It will not work. You will get tired, you will get demotivated, you will want to give up. So as part of your action plan, you schedule days that you do take off. Understand? And you know what is good? If you have a plan and you've really gone and said, and it's really, it's not, I have a plan, I'm gonna finish my PhD by the next year. That is not the plan. The plan needs to be physically go with at your day and you say, on Saturdays and Sundays, the whole day I'm going to spend in the library getting this and this and this done. And having specific days. And if you stick to your time management and your planning schedule, then when there is time, when you want to rest, you will feel, I have done a lot this week, so I've earned the day to rest. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to schedule it, otherwise you will not make it. Okay? Always when I work with especially undergraduate students, a lot of students come to my office and say, there's just too much to do and I don't have enough time. And then I say to them, bring me your day schedule. And we go and look through it. And they put in the things that they are doing. And then I say to them, you have 3 hours here that you spend on TikTok. You are wasting time. So don't tell me I don't have enough hours. It is all about you not managing your time and not really looking at how you spend your time. So it's really, for me, one of the most important things that I want you to remember is to go and look at your year plan and really go and plan and see, when do I need this done? When do I need this done? And how am I going to get to that point where this is finished on time? Okay. Understand. And remember, I've spoken about sacrifice. You need to be aware that if you really want to complete your PhD or your master's, you will have to sacrifice on certain things in your life. Okay. Any other questions?
Okay. I think there's any hands, but there's a thumbs up.
Okay.
Some clapping happening there, so that's appreciation from our online participants.
Thank you.
Let's give them another hand. Right.
Thank you.
I will, what I will do is I will leave this with you. And then I will come and get the pamphlet.
Thank you so much.
If there's any then you can just keep it and give it to students. All information is there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gift. I think you. And you also gifted me your key, Dr. Chechu. Thank you so much. Before I enrich myself with your gifts, but your time is appreciated, and I think the students will be. Okay, colleagues, I'm going to make sure my talk remains 5 minutes. For those who know me, that's a challenge. I spend more time listening to myself, so I need to figure out how to speak. But I decided also to reduce my slides. Whilst we're talking, I just reduced them to 2. Because we do acknowledge we're supposed to finish. Thank you so much, ma'am. We're supposed to finish at 12:30, and it's now a minute before that time, so I need to, yes. My presentation is going to be quite brief. I'm going to just highlight briefly the funding for research and some of the proficiency development seminars and workshops that are planned, because it's also something that was flagged. So all the hullabaloo that was before that I deleted. In terms of our proficiency development workshops, these are some of the highlights of what is planned for this year. We have our series is called Insight Series. Ordinarily, we would have a light bulb, but our ED said the light bulb is becoming boring. So until then, the face of the proficiency development seminars will be the 2 colleagues that you can see on the screen. I actually hope it's one for students. I'll find out from Brunel. We have got a workshop that is planned for the 13th of March. It's focused on enhancing the skills in terms of proposal writing. So if there are those that are working on their master's and doctoral proposals, please do take advantage of this opportunity. It's going to be a full-day workshop where we will try and navigate the key components of a good proposal and hopefully increase the chances of those proposals being successful. We don't want the statistics of rejected proposals to increase. Rather, we want all of you to succeed. We also have planned the effective literature review strategies, finding, analyzing, and synthesizing sources for our SGSP students. This is nothing new to you. You had a similar seminar, and we still have the same speaker, Dr. Lirwai, who will deliver. So for those who are excited, if you want to hear Dr. Lirwai once again, I'm sure he has sharpened his skills even more, and there'll be an exciting delivery on the 4th of April. You will realize that this table is green and blue. Blue is mainly proficiency workshops and seminars for first-year students. You know, if you're in first year in terms of your doctoral studies or your master's, it will be more relevant for you. Green is usually for those that are part of what we are calling the midstream, because the demands in terms of what you want will be different from the first years. So you realize the seminars and workshops that speak to probably analysis of your data, writing skills for publication, etc., might be more relevant for that stream. But it doesn't mean you are not allowed in any one of them. You're welcome to attend either stream. It's just placing emphasis. There is an advanced qualitative and quantitative data analysis techniques seminar that is planned. The date has not yet been firmed up. That's why it's still in green. That's why the box is still not populated. However, the citation management tools, organizing your references and avoiding plagiarism, for those that wanted information on how to use EndNote, that will be your day. We are going to be working closely with the library to deliver on this particular one. We also have one that is planned in April on research design, models and appropriate data collection methods, as well as the research integrity and ethics, in order for us to push more responsible research out there in the way we conduct, as well as disseminate what's coming out of our research. Just ensuring that we observe the principle of doing no harm as we plan and execute our research. We also have a joint workshop that is planned with Stellenbosch University, the Emerging Researchers Initiative. Stellenbosch will be coming to NAST to partner with NAST in the delivery of the academic writing publication, and that will run from 10 to 17 May. Still in May, there is a plan to roll out an advanced data analysis workshop with a focus on tools such as Atlas TI, SATA, or Statistica. We also have a module, a seminar, so to say, or workshop focusing on sustained accelerated thesis writing for those that are putting together their thesis, and that will be in July. So this is not an exhaustive list, but at least these are the confirmed workshops and seminars that we can communicate to you at this juncture. As we indicated at the beginning of the workshop, we are putting together a web page that will be linked with the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnerships, because our division falls under that particular directorate. There'll be a drop down where you get information around the proficiency development activities that will be rolled out. And more exciting things as compared to the serious business we have today, if there are networking events that are planned, we will be letting you know using this platform as well. As we continue to evolve and strengthen in our function, we will also build in suggestions that you might have on how we can improve the service that we deliver to you, because you're our biggest clientele. Not just the postgraduate students, but also the research community within. With that said, I'll just move to the next slide, which is my last slide on funding opportunities. I try to bring to your attention, a number of times we find students coming up and saying, but we don't have funding to undertake our research. And in as much as the university might not have dedicated resources to fund your research, there are always opportunities that you can take advantage of. And we'll also try and utilize the website to inform you of those opportunities, as well as to send out alerts when something new has just been published, so that you see where you can take advantage of funding streams that are out there. For the national calls, there are always calls that come out from the National Commission on Research, Science and Technology, which then brings about the need for you to have a very close, for lack of a better word, intimate relationship with your supervisor. Intimate in the sense that your supervisor needs to know where you are in terms of your research journey, as well as your funding gaps. Because when these funding opportunities come, at times it's not the student that can apply. It's a staff member within the university that can apply. But if you learn of it, a number of times we have actually seen supervisors building in research programs with 3-4 research topics for their doctoral or master students inbuilt into a program, which they can then submit for funding. And this is a strategy that has helped a number of self-funded students to get resources to undertake their research. So please we will keep our ears on the ground, but keep your eyes glued on the website. As soon as it's launched, we'll send an SMS as well as an announcement through our central colleagues from marketing and DICT to inform you of the changes or the opportunities as they come. And I was going to give an example for Namibian students. The Environmental Investment Fund currently has bursaries that are open. So visit their website for master's and doctoral studies. And for even students that are not necessarily from Namibia, you can also look at some of the research councils within your own countries, where they might not be funding for your scholarship in terms of studying, but they might have funding to support your research component, more so if your research is being undertaken in other countries, not just in Namibia. So let's be innovative, but please get in touch with us. Let's have conversations so that we understand how to direct you to some of these opportunities and how you can navigate for you to take advantage of research courses that will be out. Continentally or even in the region, for those that are in the water sector, sorry, that is my bias because that's where I will be. You will find out the NEPA Sanwache usually announces, for example, the WASA 2 grants, which are research grants that we can tap into as students pursuing studies. Similarly, so you'll find there could be AU-related calls. Quite recently, we submitted proposals to the German government, BMDF, but it was a collaboration between Germany and Southern African member states. And for the students that are in close contact with their supervisors, you realize a number of those supervisors put in submissions where they inbuild their student research as well as stipends and tuition within those particular programs. For those in engineering, even SADC GMI recently was scouting for students at master's level to be given scholarships. So it's always about keeping your ears on the ground and looking out for these opportunities. But our role as a division is to try and make sure that information is readily available at a click of a button so that you don't have to be spending a lot of your valuable time searching for these opportunities. I can see the number of SADC funded students within this particular room. These are also streams that are out there, not just SGSP, but SADC has other funding streams that are outside of the water sector, probably focusing on climate change or other related issues. UNESCO, similarly so, they might not have a research scholarship, but they could be affiliated research opportunities where the members of staff at NAT can work with students to consolidate a proposal. We have one such student, Namwater, a student that did an honors degree, and as part of their research, they got funding from Auda Lepa Vanuatu. That research was executed. The recommendations from that particular honors student's research culminated into a bigger research collaboration with Namwater saying we want to implement the recommendations from your research. And it opened up space for other students now to be part of the bigger grant. So I'm just putting it out there that the university might not have specific funds for you, but if you're having conversations and working closely with research classes within your various faculties, with your supervisor, they'll direct you to how you can navigate the space, even if it's small grants for you to take advantage of. So we will also be available to direct you where that information is not readily available. We have conference grants. For example, the Association of Commonwealth Universities usually covers early career conference grants for early career researchers to participate in virtual as well as in-person conferences. So we'll try and also make this information readily available on the website, as well as my mobility grants. My colleague, Vicky was on the line. I'm not able to tell if she's still online, but for the longest, she was coordinating a number of intra-African academic mobility schemes and grants. The Erasmus Plus, we've got a colleague that is currently here, and we're planning a seminar to just share how you can take advantage of some of those mobility grants, as well as exchange grants that might be available either through the US Embassy or our collaborations with other partners. So essentially, we are putting it out there to say, please keep in touch. When you see our emails, do not feel overwhelmed. Go to the website if the emails are too much for you to get information on possible research funding streams to support your master's or doctoral research. Thank you so much. According to our program, we're supposed to just have a vote of thanks from one of the participants. Is there anyone who would want to volunteer themselves for a vote of thanks? And we also not able to handle this one. Anyone? Even online participants, it doesn't have to be physical. You can just unmute yourself. Just let us know. But before we do that, we are also launching for the online participants. There is a poll that has been launched by our colleague just to have an appreciation of what your take has been. So probably the next workshop is actually a writing workshop. So we'll encourage every participant to bring a laptop so that you can also participate in the poll. But my question, and for those that are in the house, before we close, you can show by way of hands. It's a biased way to do it, unfortunately, because I don't have a way to hide it. But the first question from Christine is, was the session useful for your postgraduate journey? Those online, can you please respond? Yes, no, somehow? Okay, I can see a few thumbs up, a midway thumbs up. Awesome. Prof, something good came out of it. There seems to be confirmation. Okay, so colleagues that are online, please go through the poll. The second question, did you gain important skills and knowledge that is relevant for your research journey? Yes or no? If it's useless, colleagues, it's perfectly fine. You can just, you don't even have, Prof is not looking. No, he can't see you. So if you do this, I know that it's a no. If it stands up, I know it's good. So on number 2, was it, did you get any skills or knowledge that is relevant for your research journey? Okay, a few thumbs up, if you're not sure. How well structured was the program in the presentations that we delivered today? Not structured, somehow could be improved, very well structured. Okay. I like the response. Some say thumbs up, some are saying there could be something we can do to improve. When we're having our networking back, give us that feedback so that we can improve for the next one. Okay. Did the session meet your expectations? To a large extent. Somehow. Yeah. The knowledge of the presenters, 1 being low and 5 being high. So you have to use your fingers for this one. Get creative, guys. Yeah, 5, 4. We've got a few 5s, Prof. If you have any recommendations, this you can openly say in our plenary. What could we do better in order for this session to be useful for you? What can we do differently? Just your hand up. We can only improve if you tell us. You write me notes and put them under my door. Okay. So this was a poll that was launched with my colleague. I hope the colleagues that are online were able to actually complete, because it was mainly a poll for the online participants. Any volunteer for the vote of thanks still? In the absence of the participant, I'll have to ask Dr. Tina, would you want to say something before I invite Professor Okolo to close? Hands. Oh, Heather, please go through. I see there's a hand, and Dr. Tina, please come through whilst Heather comes along. Heather and Mulela, thank you so much. Please come through. Are there questions or word of thanks?
Word of appreciation.
Thank you, Heather. Please go right ahead.
Okay. I just want to say really a big thanks to the organizers of today's session. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm in my 3rd year, but in all honesty, we did not have something so comprehensive like this one before, where you get all sorts of discipline coming in and informing the students on how they can go about the journey, how, for example, even the support services from the student well-being office, etc. So there have been some before, but like I'm saying, it was not this comprehensive. The Insight series is something new that is coming in. And I remember last year chatting to my supervisor that we really needed to have some mini series or mini workshops on how to, for example, go about the analysis and so on. Because you have to remember that some of us, when we registered either for the master's or the PhD program, you've been on break for quite some time, for some years before enrolling. And then the course, this qualification that we registered for does not have coursework. So we were just like thrown in to swim in a big ocean where you really have to find your way yourself through other means of discovery. Yes, the supervisors are there, but really, if we had something like this last year and the other year, I think some of us would be very far. So thank you very much on behalf of all of us present. I think they would also want to say the same thing, that we are really appreciating your efforts and also looking forward to the series that are coming. And I also asked in the chat that kindly share this program with us on email so that we can put it in our calendar and not miss a session. Thank you so much. And God bless.
Thank you so much, Heather, for your kind words. And I think the feedback will also be motivation for management for this series to continue. With that being said, I'll invite Dr. Tina Moyo. There's another hand. Mulela, please come through. Mulela, please come through. Or is it a legacy hand? It could be a legacy. It could be. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity that you have given me to speak. I also want to acknowledge that the job you have given me is an easy one. Thank you very much. I want to echo Heather's comments and feedback that this program you put together is very comprehensive. And for the few years that I've been at NACT and involved in the postgraduate research activities, I've not really experienced or participated in a comprehensive program of this nature. We have had some programs, but it has been snippets of this and that, just the way Heather explained it. Hence, I appreciate this program, and I want to believe that we have begun, we will not stop. Thank you so much. So I just want to say in my vote of thanks, the journey through a master and a PhD study or degree is an amazing journey. It is. And for some of us who have gone through it, Prof. Follow said it earlier, that eventually you have a lot to thank yourself for. You have a lot to pat yourself on the back for. It's an amazing journey. However, it can be very lonely and daunting. I want to believe you could take from the messages that were shared today that if you don't follow what they tell you, you'll be very lonely and you feel like giving up along the way. Given the loneliness, the potential loneliness in the programs, NACT then recognized and realized that it is important for them to put together necessary and much needed support for the postgraduate students. I therefore want to appreciate the Research and Postgraduate Development Office. The presence of that office will make all the difference. Hence, we got what we got today. And this office capacitates postgraduate students. It enhances the ability of the students. It increases the capacity that the students actually bring into the program as they register. It also enhances the effectiveness of their study during the period that they spend at NAST. The office also ensures that there is progress monitoring. You may not, in any type of program or project, implement a project and not monitor its progress. It's a futile exercise. We therefore want to appreciate the office for ensuring that there is going to be a monitoring and evaluation process built into the research responsibilities and also research activities of the students and the supervisors. Thank you for that. And that speaks to the MOU that each student should sign with the supervisor. This office also provides research development services. And among them, it was mentioned there are short courses. Please look out for those short courses. They were outlined in the last slide that Rennie presented. Look out for the communication inviting you to those short courses. There will also be seminars. Please look out for those seminars because each and every seminar will certainly make a difference in your experience at NACT and also in your capacity and ability as you study. Look out for the Insight series communication. There might be additional information that might come through, which may not have been shared today. So look out for those communication emails and also the website postings. Lastly, I heard that there will be conferences. You'll be invited to conferences. Some conferences will be local, some will be international, but we are grateful that conferences will be made available and also communicated to our students. Because through a conference, you get the opportunity to network, you get the opportunity to also expose yourself to international audiences and other people's experiences, and there you learn thereof. Prof. Ofolo said something about knowledge. Once you acquire knowledge, it belongs to you. Growing up, I was told by many people, my educators and my father, that knowledge is power. So if you gain knowledge, you have power. It can actually change your world. And having heard about all these services that the postgraduate research office actually offers us, I then want to say to you, normally we say think outside the box. Or if you think within a box, you are limited, therefore you are encouraged to think outside the box. I would want to say, what about thinking without a box? When you have been educated, exposed, and you have all that, you can then think out without a box. Just be yourself, use your potential, and let the world learn from you, the contribution that you make through your research. Think without a box. That's what I'm saying. My last words are to just convey my thanks and gratitude back to the director of the directorate, the director of this directorate, where we fall under right now, Dr. Anna Matros-Goresis, in her absence. I would also like to thank the research director, acting research director, Dr. Prof. Ofolo, for taking us through today. Tirelessly, you were speaking here with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. Thank you, Prof. I want to thank Rennie for running the show for us and for organizing all this. And we must expect more communication from Rennie. I know she'll be sending through a lot of communication to us. I would like to thank the whole team without mentioning their names. They were already mentioned in the introductory slide. We know them now. I would like to extend gratitude to them. The whole team that falls under the Research and Postgraduate Development Office, we are grateful to you. And I want to thank the faculty officers who came in here. They made their presence known and they were introduced. And we are grateful for their presence. I must tell you from my experience, they offer an unwavering support service to both students and staff. We may not do anything without the faculty officers. I appreciate them. I also would like to thank the library services. Where I studied, I was with the University of Pretoria for quite a long time. I studied there and worked there before I came to NUST. We referred to the librarians as information specialists. So I don't know if that terminology is still in use today. I didn't study today, I studied a few years ago. I'm not young. So they were referred to as information specialists. But today we may call them information specialists. We may also refer to them as librarians. The way that Dr. Tetu Shiweda was presenting to us, I want to appreciate Dr. Shiweda's presentation. And she led us to quite a lot of information that the library actually offers. It's not just a house sitting there or some online link somewhere, like you would treat your Facebook link or your Instagram link. No, the library is a source of information and is a tool for us to use in our journey. And I certainly want to applaud again the library for bringing EndNote on board. When I studied, I used EndNote, by the way. So I know it very well. But when I came here, I appreciated Mendeley. I'm glad that EndNote is here. We appreciate that from the library. I would like to thank the Student Services Unit, particularly Ms. Lizelle Miller, who came here to speak to us. She spoke to us about how we can be successful if we ensure that our well-being is taken care of. So you have to take care of your well-being. And with that, I want to tap on what one student said, that how can I relax and rest when there's so much that is required of me? And she said, build your relaxation in the work plan. Let your supervisor know, during this time and this time you're away, you are at the cost. In Namibia, we go to the group. Let your supervisor know. Yes.
And probably give us a budget.
I don't know if the budget will come. But I know you have to let your supervisor know that you're at the coast at any given time, or you are at the desert at any given moment, relaxing. Last but not least, the most important clientele and the biggest clientele are the students. I want to appreciate you. Thank you for making the time to be here. This event was not going to be successful without you. Thank you very much.
Wow, very inspiring. And what a beautiful way to give us the take-home messages from today's engagement. When someone has given remarks, I cannot say much, but I'll still extend for Pulu if there's anything. If not, this is the part where I wave goodbye to our online participants. And for those that are joining us next week for the proposal writing workshop, we are looking forward to insightful engagement. We value your time. Have a good day. And for those physically present, it's going to be circulated. So look out for the announcement. It's coming through for you today. The save the date. Well, the announcement for next week's workshop will be circulated by Ms. Ronell. Like Dr. Moyo said, there's a whole team behind the scenes that was acknowledged. Ronell, Dr. Mabuku, Dr. Dlamini, Christine, Kuda. There is a big team behind the scenes that you are yet to meet. So until next time, colleagues, have a good afternoon. For those present, there are a few snacks. Let's have a conversation and let's continue with the networking. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.